Hi, welcome to the PoliticAL update with me, Alexandra Acker-Lyons. I pay attention to the political news so you don't have to. This is the advice I give my millionaire clients, and you get it for free. It is Saturday, November 15th. Had a sick kiddo yesterday and single parenting it this weekend, so did not get a chance to record, but feeling better today. It's a beautiful day here in Denver. Okay, let's jump in. Candidate news. Adelita Grijalva was finally sworn in this week. I think this delay tactic that Mike Johnson had of claiming that they were not in session in order to not seat her so that they did not have another vote to release the Epstein files is something that we will probably see more of if Republicans keep the House next year. They ultimately have the final say in seating members of the House, and I think that we will see more and more playing politics with that, unfortunately. But congratulations to the Congresswoman. Also seeing in New York 12, where Jerry Nadler is retiring, this is a very safe seat in Manhattan, that JFK grandson Jack Schlossberg is jumping into that race. George Conway, former real Republican, worked for kind of star Republican, may jump in. There's already a number of strong local candidates running there. I'm going to start talking a little bit more about these Democratic primaries and safer seats just because there's so many of them and they're pretty interesting. Also, former Congresswoman Elaine Luria, who flipped a seat in 2018, is jumping back in for what's kind of most of her old seat in Virginia, too. I think that comes on the heels of obviously seeing such a strong showing in Virginia last week. Starting to see some movement in California around the new districts there, and current incumbents kind of saying, okay, I'm going to run in this district, and then that frees up someone new to say, I'm going to run in your district. Also hearing rumors that Congressman Eric Swalwell is looking at running for governor. He was, of course, also indicted by the Trump administration on made-up real estate fraud charges. That's their theme of the year. And then John Fetterman was hospitalized this week. It's time for him to retire. It's time for him to take care of himself rather than attempting to do this job. I hope that Governor Shapiro appoints Congresswoman Houlahan to this seat if that happens. A lot of people are talking about Connor Lamb, who had flipped a seat. He's also from Western Pennsylvania. He has been vindicated in proving that he really should have won that primary against Fetterman, but he is still a pretty conservative Democrat. Houlahan is one of the badass women. She came in 2018 along with Mikey Sherrill and Elaine Luria and Abigail Spanberger. And Pennsylvania is one of the only states in the country, along with Colorado, who has never had a female senator or governor. So Chrissy would be amazing, and I hope that that's what happens, although Fetterman has said he's not going anywhere. We shall see. Okay, other political news. Obviously, the kind of shutdown postmortem continues. I encourage everyone to go read Dan Pfeiffer's The Message box on this. Dan is generally brilliant and writes up really easy to understand explanations of complex political issues a lot. I really agree with his take on this, which is basically we were gonna have to reopen the government at some point and not really get anything for it, right? Republicans were never gonna vote to extend the ACA healthcare subsidies. But how they went about doing this and how they messaged it, especially less than a week after such a victory romp, just doesn't sit well. They could have kind of tied it more to Thanksgiving travel and SNAP benefits around Thanksgiving and a lot of other things. So unfortunately, when you're not in power, it means you don't have a lot of power. And elections have consequences, and this is one of them. So Epstein files continues. I'm going to say something I can't believe I'm going to say. Good on you, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Nancy Mace for putting your name on that discharge petition and not giving in to crazy strong arm tactics by the administration. This is like some female solidarity that is nice to see, and we should recognize it in the rare moments when we have it. Also want to like take a moment and talk about Megyn Kelly. So back in like 2007, 2008, 2009, I went on Megyn Kelly's show on Fox News every Tuesday, and with like usually the same Republican. They called us the dynamic duo. I really liked Megyn. I did a lot of TV back then. She was incredibly nice to me, and would, you know, not jump down my throat, and in some cases, you know, even make sure I had equal time to say what I needed to say. And like, boy, she's gotten effing crazy. And like a lot of them have, and I have like Republican friends who like went MAGA crazy, but, wow, like defending a pedophile because the girls were only 15 and not 5 is like just a whole thing. So, you know, we'll see what happens. The House is apparently going to vote to release the Epstein files next week. It'll get kicked over to the Senate, where they don't have 60 votes, and where Trump, this is a bill, like Trump will veto this bill. But the political pressure and just the fact that Republicans felt like they had to put out all of those pages of emails and information after Democrats put out a little bit, you know, what is in there? Like if all of this other stuff has already come out, what are they hiding? It must be pretty damn bad. And this is just one of those things where we have to talk about it in the big picture. We have to talk about it in terms of culture of corruption, doing favors for his friends. He only cares about, you know, his rich friends who do favors for him, et cetera, et cetera. And then just remember to censure the victims as well. Okay, big shift. Indiana is not redistricting. Good for those Republican legislators who stood firm. We just kept hearing over and over again, they don't have the votes, they don't have the votes, they don't have the votes, similar to what happened in Kansas last week. So yay, sometimes Republicans show a tiny little bit of backbone. Okay, expand the map. We have a special election in Tennessee 7 coming up, where Afton Ben is running as the Democrat. And this is a Trump plus 20 district. Democrats have been overperforming by about 15 points. So, you know, do I think it is likely that she will be able to make up that additional 5 to 6 points? No. Do I hope that she only loses by 5? Yes. Like, that is an incredible story to tell. We have to be looking at districts like this. This is also, it would not be competitive in the general election when the electorate is different. This is like one of those rare special election, our folks turn out, their folks stay home moments. I really hope that they prove me wrong, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong here. And I just don't want us to get too excited and then be disappointed, and I don't want us to overspend in a district that we're very unlikely to win when we can be kind of starting to soften the ground in districts that are more winnable. But she is an amazing candidate, and you know, crossing fingers, toes, and eyes. And then my shout out of the week, once again, goes to just the teams who have been making all of this possible. This is kind of the time of the year when, you know, you're coming off a campaign, maybe you're unemployed, maybe you're looking for your next job, you're working for an organization that is doing both post-election work, end-of-year work, and preparing for state legislative sessions next year. And there's just a lot. There's a lot going on. But it is my favorite time of year. I think that Abraham, my son, and I are going to decorate the house for Christmas while my husband's out of town for the weekend, because he thinks you're not allowed to decorate for Christmas until after Thanksgiving. And but we need joy, so I think we're going to do it, because why not? And I bought an inflatable nutcracker, and it's going to make us happy. And we're going to put up the tree and hope the dogs don't knock it over. So go find your joy, and we'll talk to you next week.